Sun-grown trichome, the root of all flavor. They said you can't mix science, soil, and swagger. He said, watch me. Meet sun-grown trichome, the philosopher farmer, the man who turned photosynthesis into profit. He don't chase trends, he cultivates them. Every leaf, a labor of love. Every puff, a little enlightenment. Introducing the root of all flavor, TM. Part art, part hustle, all heart. Hand-harvested, sun-blessed. Guaranteed to make you breathe deeper and think slower. Patience ain't a virtue, it's a process. He's the godfather of the greenhouse, the horticultural Houdini, the man who taught nature how to mind its business. Sun-grown trichome, the root of all flavor. Grown honest, rolled legendary.
Mugs, what the fuck you doing in there, you prick?
The City of Vaults. How the mob controlled America's banks without owning a single branch. The hidden financial empire behind organized crime. A Pizzaverse Studios deep dive documentary. Written by Bambi Palermo. Narrated by Vincent Vinny DiPrio. The banks didn't get robbed, they got used. Everybody thinks the mob robbed banks. Nah. Robbing a bank is for amateurs, guys who need money today and don't plan on seeing tomorrow. Real organized crime? They never robbed banks. They used them. For decades, the Mafia controlled more cash inside the American banking system than most CEOs. And they didn't own a single branch, a single vault, a single ATM. They didn't need to. Because they owned the people who worked there. They owned the businesses that deposited there. They owned the politicians who regulated them. And they owned the unions that built the damn buildings. Money laundering wasn't a crime back then. It was an industry. And this is the story of how the mob became the shadow banker of America. Welcome to the City of Vaults. The American banking system, a criminal's gold mine. Before digital tracking, the U.S. banking system was fragmented, inconsistent, poorly monitored, reliant on handwritten ledgers, drowning in cash deposits, trusting of local businessmen, perfect for organized crime. In the 50s, 60s, 70s, and even into the early 80s, banks didn't report large deposits. Tellers didn't question patterns. Loan officers loved clean businessmen. Regulators were barely awake. The mob didn't break the system. They exploited what was already broken. The key to control front businesses. The backbone of mob banking operations wasn't casinos or drug money. It was legitimate-looking businesses, including restaurants, nightclubs, construction companies, garbage hauling, laundromats, parking garages, bars. vending machine suppliers, strip clubs, wholesale distributors. These businesses took in cash, mixed it with illicit earnings, deposited it without raising suspicion, funneled it through multiple accounts. Nobody questioned a bar making $30,000 on a weekend. Nobody questioned a pizzeria with 5 trucks on payroll. Every deposit became clean money. The branch manger game. Banks don't care who deposits the money. Branch managers, they love big deposits. They got bonuses. They got promotions. They got stability. Some took envelopes, dinners, consulting fees, vacation trips, construction kickbacks, no-show consulting jobs. Others didn't even know they were helping criminals. They were just happy the local businessmen kept the branch alive. The mob didn't threaten bankers. They charmed them. You ever wake up in a hotel room with no pants, a fake passport, and 3 missed calls from your ex-wife and your parole officer? Yeah? Then you need alibi shades. Courtrooms, backdoor meeting, or the back of a police car. Developed by the same guys who invented selective memory, these shades are designed to block flashbangs, questions, eye contact with snitches, the crushing weight of moral responsibility. Alibi shades. I ain't seen nothing, officer, just the sunrise and my manicure. Alibi shades in interrogation black, snitch-proof smoke, and witness protection chrome. Alibi shades for when you gotta look the DA dead in the face and say, never met the guy. Available at Lou Carboni's Pawn and Optometry, under Bambi's mattress and select glove compartments in Newark. Teamsters Pension, the war chest of the mob. Educational section. Pay attention, kids, this is the key. The Teamsters Union Pension Fund was one of the most powerful financial tools ever used by organized crime. It funded Vegas casinos, real estate empires, hotels, trucking fleets, construction projects, suburban developments, warehouses, restaurants, shopping centers. Billions were lent out with zero collateral, zero oversight, zero repayment schedules. The feds called it corruption. The mob called it good business. This wasn't a pension fund.
They used to chant his name in sold-out arenas. Spotlights, pyro, broken bones for applause. Joe, Bruno, 6 foot whatever of bad intentions. A pro wrestler who didn't fake pain, he delivered it. But when the crowds went home, Joe didn't. He went dark. Now, he don't wear tights. He wears boots, knuckles, and a debt list. You skip bail? You disappear? You think the law forgot you? He didn't. Joe Bruno is a bounty hunter, which means the chase ends when he says it ends. No drones. No excuses. No second chances. Just slam doors, cracked ribs, and cuffs that close like a steel chair to the spine. You can run through deserts, hide in motels, change names like Tony Bum Pizza, cowards change stories. But somewhere out there, Joe Bruno is stretching his neck and smiling because the bell already rang. Joe Bruno. ex-pro wrestler, bounty hunter, problem solver. This ain't a job. It's a takedown.
It was a shadow Wall Street. Money Laundering 101, the mob's educational playbook. Here's how the system worked, simple and clean. 1. Dirty money enters a legitimate business mixed with real revenue. 2. Business deposits cash into a friendly bank. Bank sees normal business activity. 3. Money moves through shell companies. No employees, no storefronts, just paper. 4. Funds wired out as loans, investments, or expenses. Appears legitimate on every ledger. 5. Money re-enters mob hands as clean capital ready for casinos, bribery, construction, labor influence, narcotics, political donations. It was elegant. It was invisible. It was unstoppable. The political connections nobody talks about. You can't move millions through banks without somebody in a suit looking the other way. Politicians approved. Zoning loans, city contracts, development projects, union negotiations, municipal bonds. Some were willing, some were clueless, some were complicit. The mob didn't need to run for office. They owned people already in it. How the mob caused and profited from economic crisis. Few people know this, but organized crime contributed to or benefited from the 1970s insurance collapse, the savings and loan crisis, inflation manipulation in major cities, municipal corruption scandals, bankruptcies in housing markets, the Mafia weaponized, bad loans, fake companies, inflated property values, insider political deals. They didn't just control crime. They controlled economics. The downfall computers ruin everything. What killed the shadow banking empire? Technology. Electronic ledgers. Cross-bank databases. Mandatory reporting. RICO Act. Digital audit trails. Surveillance. Know your customer laws. Anti-money laundering divisions. Humans are corruptible. Computers, not so much. The digital age ended the golden era of mob banking. But the wealth they built still sits beneath the foundations of suburbs, casinos, trucking companies, hotels, construction empires, unions. The money never disappears. It just changes shape. The vault was never closed. The mob didn't control America with guns and threats. They controlled it with accountants, bankers, businessmen, politicians, concrete, cash flow. They understood a truth every CEO eventually learns. If you control the money, you control the world. And the mob? For a long, long time. They controlled a hell of a lot more money than anyone realized. The banks weren't victims. They were partners. Silent ones. This has been The City of Vaults. Another deep, hard-hitting educational crime documentary. Written by the mastermind Bambi Palermo. Narrated by your loyal consigliere Vincent DiPrio. The guy the IRS watches too closely for comfort. If this opened your eyes, if you learned something nobody taught in school, like, subscribe, comment for the algorithm capos, share with someone who still thinks the mob just did gambling. Because in the Pizzaverse, we don't rob banks. We explain how the banks got robbed without ever being touched. Next episode coming soon. The cornfield cleaners' farm towns fly over states and the murders nobody saw coming.